Behind me is a big field, probably about 2 acres. Right through there is another 6 acres. We're gonna plant this field in corn this year. And I'm gonna show you real quick how we're gonna set this corn planter up. You got 2 hoppers on here. There's my corn plate down in there. Drops a seed down that little tube right there as it cuts that trench. This wheel packs it back in. So I dug up my seeds just to check my planter, make sure it was spacing them out, putting them down deep enough. There's one little corn seed I flipped out of there. It was further down in there than that. There was one, and there's one there. It's about 6 inches or so apart right there. Some of them are, I don't know, up to my first knuckle, about right there. So about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, which is where we're gonna put them at. Planting corn. Rows behind me a little crooked. Hey, we ain't farmers. I ain't got no GPS on this tractor, we just eyeballing. As you can see behind me, I'm finna get this fertilizer loaded up. Gonna drop out of that chute right down in that hopper. There it goes. So this is a fertilizer buggy. We got this one at Tri-County. We usually drag it up here with the truck, then hook it with the tractor so we can get in the fields. There's our fertilizer. And just how you operate this thing. Of course, it hooks up here to the hitch. You have almost like a conveyor belt that runs all the way through the middle of this, and I'll show you where it comes out the back. This is your handle for your drive. When you pull back on this and lift this up into this position, it drops this little drive wheel on top of the actual tire. So when you start moving, this starts turning. Of course, turns the belt and all the drive mechanism back here. And then as it comes out the back right here, of course, you gotta have your chute open. And over here tells you kind of where to put it at. There's your chart for your fertilizer, what kind of fertilizer you're throwing and where it needs to be open to. It comes out down this conveyor belt. It drops down on this little V-shaped plate right here, runs off both sides, and hits your thrower wheels right here. And if you can tell, I didn't make but 2 passes in this field. I made one right here to kind of see where the fertilizer was throwing. I might have thrown a little bit up in the weeds over here, but hey, that's all right. It was throwing way out here. I was getting like almost a 40 or 50 foot swath on this fertilizer buggy. So when I come back down through here, if you can see my tracks here, I kind of moved over to where I could see the fertilizer hitting about where that other hit in the middle of the field, where I was covering the entire field. So we've got about 6,000 pounds of fertilizer in there. We got a lot of fields to do today. Corn fields will do anywhere from 300, 350 pounds per acre. These bean or vetch fields will do about 200 pounds per acre. All right, so we're lined up on this field. It's gonna take off. We'll go ahead and engage this. Drop the drive wheel. Double check our setting back here. We're still setting where I want it to set at. I've been throwing, I know we're planting on 30-inch rows. This side is usually throwing 4 rows out. So I've lined the tractor up in between the 5th and 6th row right here. So what I'm gonna do is just try to stay down through there. You can see the corn rows a lot better up here in the tractor. I try to put the wheels right, put 2 rows right under the tractor. Don't always work like that. Sometimes you may get in a situation where the rows are almost touching and you may have to run over one. You can look out this window and you can see it hitting those corn. Kind of judge how far you need to move over each time. If you overlap a little bit, that's fine. If you miss a little bit, if you've got a big enough field, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's about 2 weeks old right here. You can see the corn rows running down through there. There's a lot of grass in here. So this field right here is planted, is sprayed, it is fertilized. We just re-sprayed it with Roundup yesterday. This has been planted for about a month. After 2 weeks, sprouts came up, corn came up. Spraying Roundup in here actually has killed out a lot of grass and a lot of weeds. You can kind of see the spacing on the plants. Some of them got kind of close, but when you're running a planter, you're planting a lot of acreage and you're planting it kind of quick. Sometimes that happens. We're not planting this for a cash crop, we're planting it for the deer. As long as we can make corn out of it, we'll have a lot of food here for the winter. I'm really surprised at this field. It is taking off. Came back in after the corn was up about yay high. Throw 300 pounds per acre of fertilizer, triple 13 on it. Here it is, it's June 26th. You can kind of see the rows are almost, they're almost closed up here. Corn is good and green, so it's getting the nutrients that it needs. I don't think we're gonna do nothing else to this field. We're gonna let this field go. We planted this back in May. It's October the 1st. This is the finished product. The deer are actually wearing this field out right now. Right up here in this corn somewhere. On the corn stalks. It's not hard to track a deer's been shot in the corn. They brush up against it. Blood, they leave blood on the corn. Moved over. There he is.
good buck. Amazing what this cornfield will do for you. That's what it looks like for them slipping through here. Down these rows. You got those green fields out in the middle and they step out in them, man. They're comfortable running around in here. Tickle to death, boys. Yeah. A lot of hard work in that buck. A lot of hard work.